diving deep into conversations where nothing is taboo. They believe in eating dessert before dinner and wearing the bikini. They're allergic to labels, authority, and cheap shoes. Currently, they're launching themselves through life being the good time, bold enough to take risks and inquisitively asking, what's next? They hail from New Hampshire, but they could be anywhere dressed in cute clothes. If they had to share a tombstone, it would read, "Curiosity killed these cats." Your hosts, Lisa and Robin on the mic.
Welcome to Lisa and Robin on the mic. You are listening on WSMN 1590 AM, 95.3 FM. You can watch, stream, and listen on WSMN.live, as well as YouTube. And we are always up on Spotify. We are sans Robin on this beautiful Thursday. I am in the studio looking cute, and she is in Florida looking amazing. I'm sure she's in a bathing suit. She's got 79 degrees and sunny, so we're all a little jealous. But I do have some fun guests for us today. Today, I have a woman I stalked on Instagram and inappropriately entered her DMs because she looked like so much fun. Her name is Tammy Inman, and she is an award-winning author of New England Brunch, New England Desserts, and Winter Sweet, seasonal desserts for the warmth of the home. A trained chef and cooking instructor, Inman got her start testing recipes for Cook's Illustrated magazine and the TV show America's Test Kitchen. After that, she worked as an editor for Boston Magazine and wrote for various print and online publications, including the Boston Globe, Fine Cooking, and Yankee Magazine. She has also been interviewed by NPR's All Things Considered, CBS Evening News, and Chronicle. She lives with her husband and two high-maintenance cats outside of Boston, where she can be found roller skating by day and moonlighting as a cheesemonger at Formaggio Kitchen in the South End. Welcome, Tammy.
Thank you, Lisa.
So, I did stalk you on, somehow you came up with a cookbook. And I said, oh, cookbook. Let me click on that. New England, she's local. Then I started going through your page. I'm like, look at these cats, and she's roller skating, and I'm just going to get in there and see if we can't be friends.
I'm so glad you did.
I invited you here. Welcome. I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you. So excited you stalked me.
So tell me, this is a very exciting career. So you worked for America's Test Kitchen.
Yeah, that was my very first job out of, actually, I was still in culinary school. I was at the Cambridge School of Culinary Arts doing their chef certificate program, and I saw that they were looking for a part-time test kitchen assistant. And I knew that I wanted to get into writing, so I thought this is going to be the perfect job for me. So I started working for Cook's Illustrated. I did not know about America's Test Kitchen until months down the road when they said, yeah, we're going to be starting this new TV show. And they really did not know it would turn into what it has become 25 years later. This was in the year 2000. So it was a very exciting time to be there.
And so what is it like? I feel like they test recipes ad nauseum.
They do.
300, anything that could be wrong with a recipe, they will fix when they're making their recipe.
100%.
So were you part of that whole piece as well?
Yes. So a lot of what I did was taking the recipe that they had written, say, after the 9th or 10th time, make it again so that they could taste it and compare it to other versions so that they could decide where to go next. Does anything else need to be changed? And I mean, they really would test things dozens of times. And I have to say, a lot of times by the 14th or 15th time, I was good with it.
Yeah.
I think this is perfect. And they're like, nope.
The sauce is a little runny.
Yeah.
It's almost that perfectionism.
Yes.
And I do think, as someone who likes to cook non-professionally, that there is something about striving for better and better food.
Yes.
And so I appreciate that. I'm a big fan of the America's Test Kitchen.
Yeah.
I have a couple of their cookbooks, actually. I have the one about entertaining, and it gives you 6 different recipes. It gives you an appetizer, a salad, a main, and a dessert, and maybe some kind of snacks or a sauce or something. And I've used that one often.
Oh, that sounds good. Having everything all put together like that from soup to nuts.
Yes, and it has the spine broken. It has been, badly abused. And I'll ask you this question because you wrote these beautiful cookbooks. I am going to post them like this. Let me do a better job. I will actually post them on our Instagram as well too. But you have these beautiful cookbooks, and Do you get offended when there's, any kind of splatter or that the
No.
spine's broken?
No, that is the mark of a well-used, well-loved cookbook. So that would be amazing. I love seeing that, and that's what it is meant to be. It is meant to be a usable cookbook, as pretty as they are. I want to see people really dog-earing them, really loving them, writing in them, because a lot of times my taste might differ from other people's. I encourage people to make changes based on their own taste and to write that in and really hopefully pass it on. This is a lot of historical recipes in New England.
I'm pointing to her, showing her the cinnamon sugar cannoli popovers. That will be one of the first recipes that I make, and a blueberry muffin. So you are from Boston originally, but you moved around.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you remember the Jordan Marsh blueberry muffin?
Yes, I do. I remember that. And that is actually in the brunch cookbook.
So it is.
Yes,
I have
it
been
is.
trying to find that exact recipe.
So it's not the exact recipe. I
Okay.
made a few changes. I actually watched the original baker, John Pupek, make his muffins on, I think it was Chronicle, or maybe it was like a news program. So I watched him do it, and he was explaining, I think that because he was working in a commercial bakery, it was like pastry flour and bread flour combined instead of all-purpose flour. And I think that it was shortening instead of butter. But I made some changes based on what I thought,
Was
home bakers
sustainable.
would have. Yeah, exactly. But the spirit is there, and I still think it's one of the best muffin recipes out there.
And I do too. And every muffin is always compared in my head to that blueberry muffin from Jordan Marsh.
Yeah.
And I remember going there to the one in Boston when they would do the Christmas decorations inside the windows, and it's
Yes.
cold and you're eating that warm muffin and it has the crunchy demerara sugar on
Yeah.
top. Just like crack. I still think about
memories.
it to this day.
Yes.
Still jonesing. I'm
Yes.
jonesing for the Jordan Marsh blueberry muffin. Okay,
Nostalgia
awesome.
is real.
What do you think about food nostalgia?
I think it's powerful. I mean, a lot of my favorite foods are things that, I had as a kid, and they still resonate, like, Indian pudding, which, I did include a recipe for Indian pudding because it's one of my favorite desserts. Did not call it Indian pudding. I called it cornmeal molasses pudding, just factually. But, that, warm porridgey texture with the spices and the molasses and like vanilla ice cream melting all over it in a puddle. Like, there's just something comforting about that it always brings me back to like childhood and feeling cozy and protected,
Yeah, I do think smell and taste is the easiest thing. And music kind of transports me. So if I go somewhere and I hear a song, I think, oh, I want to remember this song for this place. And then I find it for my playlist. But food is definitely one of those things. Whenever I go on vacation and find a recipe that it's like, I need to make that at home so I can remember this place.
Right. Absolutely.
And so you went to culinary school. Did you always know that you were going to be in food as an adult?
No. In fact, I did not grow up cooking much at all. I
Okay.
did not have, a role model for cooking so
Same.
much growing up. Yeah. So when I graduated from college, I was like, oh my God, food is so important to me in terms of like, I'm always living for my next meal. I don't feel like satisfied. I don't even feel safe if I don't know where my next meal is coming from. Like, how am I going to do this? And I was like, I know I'm going to be doing writing of some kind, and I would like to become an expert in some area. So why don't I make this investment in my culinary knowledge and have this be my area of specialty?
So I think writing about food is terribly hard. I think it's one of the hardest things.
Yes.
As someone who likes to write,
Yes.
I could not get more stumped trying to make the little paragraph on why you should eat the meal. I think I was using the same words all the time. This is delicious. This is amazing. This is scrumptious. This is, and you're like, how many times can I use this word?
Yes.
Eat this, make this. I just wanted to write at the top. You don't care what I say. It's a good recipe. That's why I made it in the book. And then I got through one version of the book where I took out all the top sections and just said, you don't need me telling you why it's good. It made it in the book. Eat it. And then I'm like, no one's going to pick some of these recipes up because some of them, the title didn't look appetizing enough. Seafood stuffing. Like, I can't do a better recipe than that.
Right.
It's the stuffing I use on all my seafood. I don't know another recipe. I don't know another title.
Right.
And I know that's not sexy, but eating it is great.
Yes.
You'll want to put this on lobster and make lobster pie. You're going to want to put it on shrimp and scallops and put it on the side of the steak. But I felt very stifled in that type of writing. I felt there's a formula, and the creative part of me doesn't want to follow this formula. It wants to be like this, where I'm talking, but there's no one responding on the other side, so I'm getting stuck on the page.
Oh, so I really feel that. There is a formula, 100%. I think for the head notes of my recipes, I tend to include some kind of little story, not even so much describing the flavor. Sometimes I do. I will describe, what I like about the recipe. But, it's hard to, flavor is very difficult to describe.
Without just putting the ingredient list in there again.
Yes.
Yeah. Please enter the master password, Amy. So we have someone also working on our studio piece. So I don't know why our intro music is up. Someone will get to it, or someone won't. I don't know. Oh, someone's in the desktop. It's good. It's not the best song. Just kind of like some of my head notes aren't the best head notes.
I don't know. I kind of like it. It's catchy.
It is catchy. It always makes us want to dance. It gets us in the mood. Only because we listen to it every week, I think. So you knew you wanted to write, and then you get into food writing. I remember the first time. Did you write a blog originally?
I did write a blog for a long time. It was called Food on the Food. And it was all about, trying to feed my young children and eating locally. I wrote it for 10 years.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Then I got tired.
Yeah. Hold on one second. I don't know, guys. It's like they're locked out of the password. Give us a second. We're going to the top of the hour.
I'm Sherry Preston. The nation's employers added a surprising 119,000 jobs in the month of September.
I apologize, guys. Here we go. We're in here. Oh, I love all this technology. So this is why I don't produce my own show, because technology, I must have an energetic field where my energy is just like confusing.
You're too magnetic.
I'm like erasing stuff from the computers. Guys, I'm so sorry. Give us a second. We're almost done fixing this. Here we go. Yay. We're all set. Yay. Okay. So we were talking about writing about food. So you did a cookbook blog. You did a cooking blog. And did you morph that into the first book?
It was more like I was able to get attention from a publisher because of the blog. At that time, there were a lot of book deals going to bloggers because they showed that they had an audience that might buy a cookbook. So I sort of benefited from that. And my first book, Winter Sweet, came out around that time. And a lot of it was also, my blog was focused on eating locally and really supporting local growers and eating with the seasons. And so it attracted, a certain type of reader that was really into that sustainability. And so.
And their loyalty would be like, of course I would buy your book when you put it together.
Yes.
I think that group of people, people who shop locally, who make sure they do a lot of things locally, have the mentality of keeping everything here and supporting each other.
That's right. Exactly. Which I love. That's why we still have some independent bookstores and we still have local community farms, because there are people invested in their community.
Did you find that you always had something to talk about on the blog talking that long? Because I did not. I gave up pretty quickly on the blog. I said, I'm either going to do a blog or I'm going to do a cookbook, and I really want it to be bound and published in a bookstore.
Right. I did not think I would blog for more than a month. I'm not a togger. Like I'm a writer, but I was like, how am I going to come up with ideas? But at one point when I was blogging early on, I posted almost every day. So I don't know where I came up with stuff, but I guess I just had...
It was the desire to write and communicate.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Food is enough of a love that you...
Yeah. And you can tie in so many other aspects about life with food, family and memories and,
health, wellness, the planet.
Yep, politics and
gardening.
Exactly. So you could go a lot of different places. And I was not very, I didn't really follow a formula for the blog. It was very, very much a creative endeavor. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. When I started my blog, I did cooking with liquor, where I really like cooking with liquor. So I would try to find recipes and then alter them through alcohol.
Yeah.
You know, putting rum in a specific type of sauce or adding brandy to a lobster sauce instead of adding wine, for
Yeah.
example, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was really having a little bit of fun. And then that page got abducted and hacked by someone who was selling fake Coach purses. Sorry, couldn't say that. Purses. And I couldn't, they just were filling up my comment section with buy this purse, buy this purse, buy this purse. And it became this weird thing. And then I got sort of shut down for spamming. And then I was like, you know what? That's the universe saying, stop writing a blog.
Oh.
Your heart's not really into it anyways.
Yeah.
And then I thought, you know, trying to pitch a cookbook to a publisher, they're going to be like, you're a real estate broker and you want to write a cookbook? I don't understand how this makes any sense.
They are hard to persuade. I will tell you that.
As a person who's publishing my own book, I know, like, you have to market it, you know, and we don't think you're marketable.
Right.
You know, I know, and they're not wrong, probably. You know?
Well, they have certain metrics. And, you know, you don't always fit their metrics. I just got lucky that I happened to be blogging at a time when they were looking at bloggers. I mean, I had already been writing.
But you had the chops behind it.
I did.
You worked in the industry. You grew up in it. You went to culinary school.
But that doesn't guarantee a thing.
I know.
Not a thing.
Which hurts your feelings.
Yes, it does.
It hurt my feelings.
Yes. Look, publishing is not for the faint of heart.
It is not. And when you're doing it all yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you have blind spots.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no one saying, honey, we're not doing that for the cover, or we're not doing that, or, you know. And then if you give it to your friends and family, they tell you it's great because they don't want you to cry.
I would hope they would. I do have a story about a cover.
Oh, tell me your cover story.
So my first book, Winter Sweet, had a pavlova. It was a chocolate pavlova with pomegranate sauce on it. It was so, and if you don't know what a pavlova is,
I do.
Yeah, or your reader,
my listeners don't, but I'm well
No, of
aware.
course
Please
you
tell
know.
them. Please tell them.
It's like a pillowy. It's like a pillow of meringue, sort of soft and marshmallowy on the inside, and like crisp on the outside. And then pomegranate sauce is sort of this rich, dark, magenta color, and then some beautiful whipped cream, softly whipped. And then the pomegranate seeds drizzled on top. And so the first...
My heart is a flutter.
Yes, it sounds good, doesn't it? The first version of the cover that I saw, I thought it was a joke. It looked like a Halloween nightmare. It was actually like the day before Halloween that they sent me it, and I thought it was a joke because it looked like a crime scene. It looked like the pomegranate syrup looked like blood dripping and oozing out of it. The pomegranate seeds looked like bloody teeth that had been knocked out. And I was like, this cannot be for real. Like, I will be the laughingstock of the internet. And they could not be talked out of it. They would not be talked out of it. I played every card I had. My agent got involved. I cried.
On the meeting, on the Zoom. You can't take my dreams and make it look like this.
I know. Like every other photograph was gorgeous, but this one, and it's difficult because it's an artistic interpretation, and everybody has a different feeling about it. But when I showed my friends that, half of them were like, oh my God, like visceral. It had a visceral reaction, like the gore, it's grotesque. And others were like, well, I can see how it catches your eye.
Because they were like, I don't want you crying again.
Or maybe it didn't hit them the same way. I don't know.
Yeah.
But for me, I was like, this is not what I want to be known for.
Here's your initial money back that you paid me. Here's your deposit. Give me that back. Give me my rights back. I don't know what you're doing with it, but give it to me.
Yeah.
So how did that work out?
So 6 months later, or it felt like 6 months later, it was a long time, they sent me a new one. They had it reshot and restyled, and it was beautiful. So it worked out in the end. But I mean, I was like, I'm going to have to leave town. I'm going to change my name. I'm going to have to start a whole new career.
My first book, and I don't want it out.
Yeah, yes, exactly. You have no say. The author has no say in the cover.
Yes, I've learned that. We had Carrie Cariello on. She's the author of Autism Out Loud.
Yeah.
And she said, we didn't pick this cover, but here it is.
Yep.
And I thought, well, that's such a joy of self-publishing, but I loved all my photos I couldn't pick. So we tried to kind of focus group it with a few people on, well, what is the main theme of the book, you know, and kind of go through that way, because I was just like, I love all of them. And then I did hire the woman who does all the cover art for Random House.
Ooh.
I contacted her because I went into the bookstore and said, okay, I'm picking up this book because of the cover. I'm picking up this book because of the cover. And when I opened inside, it was the same woman.
Oh.
So I wrote her an email. Well, I stalked her first on Instagram, and then I contacted her like I do. If you ever get a DM from me, there's me with a cat on my lap on the couch, just so you know. And she said, I would love to, you know, no problem. And we talked about budget, and my budget was nowhere near her budget. And she was like, I really want you to have what you want. Because I said, I don't like anyone else. I picked all your, that was always you. The cover was always you. And she made it. So that was my budget number.
Oh, wow.
Right?
That's
how amazing.
Yes.
And she gave me like 4 covers, and I loved them all, and I couldn't pick. And so she was one of the ones who did help me pick. But then we went in COVID, and then they changed some things, and then I had to change the number of pages in the book. So I had to redo the book again because when you're making a theme, it's either inclusive of the theme, and everything that's not the theme is out.
Yep.
So now when you're changing stuff, you're like, well, if I take out this, it's not the same thing. So I had a lot of, because I was working on it, I was doing everything. I had multiple jobs. I was a real estate broker, a property manager, and I plowed.
Oh my goodness.
So,
did you sleep ever?
No. No, I didn't sleep. Then I started a radio show and I wrote a book. So so there was a lot of disjointedness.
Yeah.
And I would leave it for a couple of months and pick it up and be like, well, this isn't, you know, I was always in the critical editor stage. Well, I was still should have been sometimes in the writing stage.
Yes.
I'm a great editor.
Yes.
I don't know how I am as a writer. We'll see.
Well, it doesn't matter, because if you're a good editor, you can
Right.
make anything.
Right, but the editor is strangling the writer as they're speaking. The writer just
Right.
wants to get out the words, and the editor's like, that's not the right word. Stop saying that word.
Yes, yes.
You know?
Yep.
Stop saying insatiable, or stop, you know, like, stop it. Stop. If you say delicious one more time, I'm going to strangle you. Stop saying delicious. But it is delicious. Stop saying it.
Oh, the inner critic.
Oh, it's brutal. So I had my pictures taken, and I went to the person I wanted, and they were out of Boston, and they're the photographer that makes Dunkin' Donuts and McDonald's look appetizing.
Oh, is
Do
that
you know?
right? No.
You
who's
look
this
at his
person?
name is Gary.
Okay.
You look at the picture of McDonald's Big Mac, and you're like, I want that. And then you get to the McDonald's, and you're like, this isn't the Big Mac. I don't know what this is.
Yes.
So I contacted him because I'm like, he can do anything. Look at him. Look at him. And he was so expensive. I couldn't even afford, because he had his own photography studio inside Boston. I couldn't afford the fee to be in the studio for the day.
Right.
Let alone
Yes.
the food stylist. And he's like, you're not I'm like, I'll style my own food. He's like, you're not styling your own food. I only work with one stylist, and you're not styling it. So I went and used somebody else who was local, and the pictures looked good on thumbnails.
Yeah.
So I approved them all. And then I got them and I printed them out, because I was now starting to like put the order to the book, and I need to do that physically. I
Yeah.
couldn't do it digitally. And the pictures were terrible blown up.
Really?
And I was like, I hate them.
Oh.
I love them as little tiny baby thumbnails.
Yeah. Interesting. Was it the details?
It was the detail.
Yeah.
It was like too much of this blurry focus of the background,
Oh.
but in a distracting way instead of in a soft, I want to be a photographer, right? So I know what I want to see in my head, and I wasn't seeing it.
Yep.
And when I went back to her, she was like, well, we can pay to reshoot them again. And then in my head, I was like, I don't trust her. And then she also was saying to me, because I was like, even though this one's properly focused, the colors are all wrong. Like, that's not a red pepper. No one's going to know that's a red pepper. It looks like a carrot. She goes, well, you have to go in and Lightroom them all. I'm like, you don't do that?
Oh, usually the photographer does that.
So I was like, okay. So then my husband's like, you want to be a photographer. You have all of this equipment. Just take the pictures. So then I started taking food photography courses, and then I started taking editing Lightroom courses, and then I wasn't writing the book.
Yep.
Like, it was becoming, what is this, right?
Yes.
So COVID happens. I reach back out to the guy the McDonald's guy, right? And I'm like, I took the pictures. They're horrible. And he's telling me what happened. I send him the pictures. He's like, yeah, I know. Okay. She's not normally a food photographer. She's a professional photographer. And she thought this idea was cool and she thought she could do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I had showed one of my friends. I'm like, can I put this out? And she's like, absolutely not. Just leave no pictures in the book.
Oh.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, that's bad too.
Oh. Oh. For the cookbook reader, it's also, what do you mean? Oh. Right? We couldn't have that. So I contact him and he's like, well, I no longer have that studio in Boston because of COVID. So I will come to your house and do it. And so we figured it out. There was a little bit of crying on the phone about how I hated the pictures. He came down to the price I could afford.
Oh, good.
But he said, you have to participate. You have to make all the food.
Yeah.
We have to style it. We have to be done. I think it was 2 or 3 days.
How many recipes?
48.
Oh my God, that is really tight.
Right? And he's like, we don't think you can do it. Well, I said, I want 48. He's like, maybe we'll get 20, maybe we'll get 30, who knows? And I'm like, we're getting 48. I'm buying 48 recipes worth of food. I had my Robin come over and I called her on the phone. I said, will you be my kitchen slave? She goes, what does that mean? Anything I need. Cleaning mostly. Trash mostly. Cleaning mostly. Yeah. And I cooked and she was behind me cleaning and we put out 48 recipes in that time period. They didn't believe it. And the other funny thing was, I was like, I don't want you using any non-food items on my food because I want to.
Yes.
I spent so much money on this food that we all have to take it home and eat it. Robin was taking it home to her family. And they said, we never eat the food after we style it.
That is true of most.
Yeah. It is 100% true, except in my home.
But I didn't want to do it that way either. I don't want to put any glue on anything. I don't want to spray. I don't want any mashed potatoes for ice cream. No, like I want it all to be real. People can eat it. I don't want the waste. And also, I feel like
the waste was huge.
Yeah, the waste is huge. And also, I just wanted everything to be natural. Like that is my MO. Like that's what I'm trying to persuade people to do. And I don't want to be a hypocrite.
Yes. Yeah. And your pictures are gorgeous.
Thank you.
They're gorgeous. And so when we went through this whole thing, the very first I had made cookies. And I'm like, well, this will get them started. The minute they're in the door, they can do these cookies while I'm starting the next thing. Because you also have to have the food fresh or it sags and doesn't look good for the pictures.
100%.
It's like a 20-year-old all of a sudden turning 88.
Yep.
You know, a 20-year-old model looks great. Throw an 88-year-old model on top of her 5 minutes later. So the first thing the editor, who's there at the same time, because he's looking at the food to get the exact photo colors right.
Yes.
He goes, can I have the cookies? Absolutely.
Sign.
Absolutely. Eat the cookies. So we ended up eating all the food.
Oh, excellent. Love to hear
really
it.
good. But I do think the photography piece was probably the part that was going to financially break me from even doing the book.
It is. It's a huge investment.
So when you talk about not liking the cover and not liking that chocolate pavlova, I mean, I'm a huge pavlova fan.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I found pavlova was Nigella Lawson.
Yes. Yes.
She's a big pavlova person. And then once I had it, my aunt started making beza, which is a Polish version of pavlova. It's almost the same exact thing.
Really?
Very similar.
Okay.
And I just fell in love with that dessert. I think
it's so good.
everyone should have a good pavlova, and I've never had a chocolate one.
Yeah. Yes. It doesn't get as deeply it's not as chocolate as a brownie or a chocolate cake, but just a little bit of cocoa powder in there. It makes it just enough to be a little bit different, and it pairs well with like berries, red berries. Really
And
nicely.
I love port.
Yes.
I think it would be a great dessert, especially with the pomegranates.
Yes.
With port.
Port and cranberries. Yeah. Absolutely.
I cook a lot with pomegranates. Do you cook a lot with pomegranates too?
Not much. I will sometimes use pomegranate molasses in something. But no, I might do something with desserts, but I don't. Maybe I feel like I was channeling Ottolenghi at one point and sprinkling pomegranate seeds all over something for a year, all over squash, all over eggplant. But beyond that, no. What do you do?
So I put it on top of cauliflower.
Ooh.
like a roasted cauliflower with
Yeah.
rice. It's actually in America's, I think America's Test Kitchen was the first time I had put pomegranates on anything, actually.
Yeah.
And then I started putting it in salads.
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
There's something, once I got into like, oh, I kind of like these seeds. They're
Yep.
a texture element. So
Yes.
I'm a freak about texture.
Yes. A little crunch.
Yes.
Mhm.
So then that became, I was sprinkling it on salads. I was sprinkling it on vegetables. I'm a big roasting fan.
Yes.
At one point in the cookbook, I thought, I'm going to put another recipe, and the first stage of it is to roast the vegetables. And if you think I haven't roasted everything, I've roasted everything. Everything has been at once roasted. Because I'm a cook who, I want really good food, but sometimes I always don't have the time, and I need flavor to build quickly.
Yes.
And I feel like I can do that in the oven, and it also gives me mental space to go start doing something else while the oven is doing the cooking.
Absolutely.
So I can't impart on people enough. People like microwaves and air fryers and all of that stuff. The oven is the magical component to a kitchen, in my opinion.
Yep, I think so too.
And so all your books have been mostly about, no, this new one is less about baking.
There's a lot of baking. The first two books were all baking, and the brunch has a lot of baking because, there's muffins and scones and.
So I feel like being a baker, you're
Yeah.
really into the oven
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
So when I'm talking, I feel like I'm a fellow
Yes.
oven lover.
I do. I love the oven. I mean, I will braise and do stovetop stuff as well, but the oven, it does it. That dry heat, that roasting action, it concentrates flavor in a really nice way.
Even when I braise on top of the stove, it always goes in the oven for a while.
Yeah.
I
finish it,
can't.
yeah.
So people will joke and say, oh, I don't turn my oven on until September. And my husband will say, are you really making that it's 92 degrees out? Oven's on. I don't know what to tell you. We're having this. That's how much I love my oven.
Wow.
We have AC. It's fine.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
And I think baking is one of those cooking techniques where we're measuring. We have measuring cups. We have measuring bowls. We have measuring spoons.
Yep.
We have a lot of pans, right? I have a friend, one time she's like, oh, I'm going to make a cheesecake. I go, oh, what recipe are you going to use? She says, oh, I don't think. I'm just going to use the stuff out of my fridge. And I was like, you stop it. Stop it right now.
That's risky.
Put the whisk down. You are not winging a cheesecake. But that goes to show you what type of cook she was.
Yes. I know people like that. They are more fly by the seat of your pants. They're more
Whatever's in the refrigerator.
Yes. And sometimes it works so well, and other times not so much.
And then when it works, you're like, what are we eating? Did you write it down? How are we replicating this? And you're not.
Right.
So I have two friends that cook that way.
Yep.
And so this is amazing. And the husband said one time, enjoy it. We're never going to have it again.
Once in a lifetime.
And for me, it's the repeatability of I'm almost restaurant geared
Yes.
in my food. If I have something, I want to have it the way I want it.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm a texture freak, I think I started out my love of cooking as baking as a kid. Like, you can make the birthday cake. And I'm using Duncan Hines, and I've got the mixer, and I'm making a mess. You're not allowed to use the kitchen. So I also did not grow up with cooking with a role model.
Right.
My mother went back into the workforce, and she says, you're going to eat McDonald's.
Yeah.
You're going to eat whatever you want to eat, which as a child could not be understated as my mother's not the coolest person on the face of the earth.
I know.
She's not making me eat canned asparagus.
Yep.
She's not giving me hunks of dried out meat like all my friends' parents
Yes,
were
and
making
me.
them eat. Right? So that's great, but it becomes a unsustainable health journey
Right.
as well.
Right.
Right? You're trying to be thin as a woman and you're eating McDonald's. It's just so hypocritical and counterintuitive. So I didn't come into cooking until I met my husband.
Oh.
And we started watching back in the day. I started watching the Culinary Institute of America on Saturday mornings on PBS.
I did not even know that they had that on PBS.
Well, we're talking like 30 years ago.
Wow.
So it was before the Food Network.
Uh-huh.
I watched Nick Stellino
Uh-huh.
and the Culinary Institute of America. It was like an hour long.
Wow.
I think they had an hour, and then I think Nick Stellino had a half an hour. But I learned how to carve a turkey.
Amazing.
And so-
Lifelong skill.
And so what I do is I immediately am falling in love in my kitchen, and I think, okay, I'm going to want to cook now for a living. I buy the Culinary Institute textbook, and then I try to make recipes, but the recipes are for restaurants.
Right. Are they like huge portions?
Oh, yeah. They're like, 400 grams, and everything is in the metric system.
Oh, right.
So I'm literally on my pages of that textbook is me trying to translate it to ounces.
Right.
And then divide it down from 8 or, and so I still have the book. I think there's like 2 recipes I've ever made out of it because I've okay, well, I'm just going to wing the ingredients and just put these ingredients together.
Right. It's the inspiration.
Yes, it's the inspiration. But I still have that as one of the cookbooks on my shelves.
Wow. That's cool.
How many cookbooks do you have on your shelf?
Hard to say. I haven't counted them, and I to be honest, I cull them frequently. Because obviously I buy a lot of cookbooks. I also pick up a lot of cookbooks from like my library's book sale and whatnot, and thrift stores and all kinds of places. And so I end up with like too many, and there are definitely some I find myself not using. So I will get rid of those to make space for new. Usually what happens is I'll get a lot, and then I will have to cull them. And I give them to friends, or I'll raffle them off or donate them to the library. But, I mean, I probably have 200.
I swallowed my drink wrong, and I'm coughing, and when she said 200, I have like 30. I thought I was doing good.
I mean, I have church cookbooks and community cookbooks.
No, I'm jealous.
Yeah, no, I
would love an entire bookshelf of cookbooks because I think when I buy a cookbook, I just need one recipe from it.
Yes.
One that I really absorb into my life, in my cooking life. To me, that's a successful cookbook. So if I can find a cookbook with like 8 recipes in it, its spine is broken. It's got sauce on it. The pages have like steam. They're wrinkled from the steam.
Yeah. Yep. And I have those books. I have my favorite Italian cookbook, and I have my Madhur Jaffrey Indian cookbooks, and I have like the Elephant Walk, which is the local,
Yes.
French Cambodian restaurant or series of restaurants in the Boston area for like Cambodian dishes, and there's a lot of cookbooks.
I think that's amazing because I've wanted to, now that I've published this one, I'm like, I wonder how many restaurants we can get in our area to like contribute to a Boston book or a Cambridge book or something where it's a locale, take distinctly different restaurants and take 3 recipes that you could alter to your home kitchen.
I actually know somebody who did that in Boston. Claire Silverstein wrote the Boston Chef's Table, and it was contributed to by a lot of Boston and Cambridge chefs. Yeah. We're actually doing an event together this Saturday at the Auburndale Public Library.
Ooh, tell us about that.
Yeah. It's like a meet and greet. So if people want to come and talk to us, talk about, baking and cooking and food writing, they can just stop by. This is a Newton Library, Auburndale. Stop by and, we'll sign cookbooks, chat. Yeah.
Ooh, that'll be really fun.
Yeah.
Do they have to bring their bought cookbooks to you, or will you have cookbooks there?
We will have cookbooks there.
Oh,
Yes.
very exciting.
Yes.
I have to show a condo on Saturday, or I'd go.
Oh.
I'm like, what time is it? What time is your event?
It's 1 to 3 at the Auburndale Public Library.
Oh, let me see if I can make my showing earlier. I would love to go to that. And then I would love to get that cookbook because that was right up my alley.
Yeah, yes.
Now that I have finished the cookbook, I keep thinking like, oh, well, I want it. Now I understand everything I didn't understand. I can do it quicker, I think, this time.
Definitely.
But I also don't want it. I don't want to be testing recipes anymore for a while.
Oh, I feel that. All right, so you're done? You're done with everything now?
Yep.
And you're just waiting for it to come out?
Yep.
And when does it come out?
It should have actually been out. I'm waiting. I thought I was going to get some printed copies for now. So it was supposed to be 5 to 7 days. So it should be any day. And I'm not announcing it until I get them in my hand.
That's smart.
Because I've announced them once before. And the date has passed. I didn't know that they were closed on the date I made my announcement date. So, and I mixed up I did something wrong in the table of contents. So that was another thing that needed to be fixed. So it's coming anytime.
Excellent.
And one of the cool things I'm doing is so many people told me they wanted to buy it for people as a Christmas gift.
Yeah.
So I am partnering with 2 artists. One is a wood artist and one is a glass artist. And we're going to make charcuterie boards and platters and cool things so you can buy that and the cookbook at the same time
Oh, that's nice.
and give that away as gifts.
yeah, I love that.
And the glass woman is my favorite glass woman of all time. Her name is Vern. She owns Studio Vern in Manchester. And we picked out the glass. I'll actually put that post of her sending me the actual glass pieces that she's going to manufacture into
Cool.
the platters. It's going to be super fun.
Oh, wow. It's a nice tie-in.
So tell me, you also were an editor of several magazines.
I was an editor at Boston Magazine.
Boston Magazine.
Yeah, research editor.
And then you did the contributing to Yankee Magazine.
Yes. So I would write articles about, food or interview chefs. For Yankee, I wrote some recipes for fine cooking, which is no longer.
A magazine.
Yeah. I used to write for the Boston Globe a bit, some recipes. And
Do you get to say what recipe you're going to do, or do they tell you what they're looking for?
for me, I pitch specific recipes that I have in mind. I'm sure that they do assign some people some things, but for me, I'm typically pitching my own. Yeah.
And then what else do you have going on right now?
Right now, well, I'm doing a lot of public library events, as we mentioned. I have one in Raynham coming up. I am cheesemongering, so I work
So
part
tell
time
me
as a
all about this.
cheesemonger. Yes, but he's like, "What's a cheesemonger?" Fancy word for cheese salesperson. So I work at Formaggio Kitchen, which is one of the more famous cheese shops in the Boston area. They have a bunch of locations, 2 in Cambridge and 1 in the South End and 1 in New York. I work in the South End location, which is teeny tiny, and it's just like a cute little European style grocery store with like all these like amazing pastas and olive oils and wine. And in the back, there's this wall of cheese, and I think there's like over 150 cheeses there, cheeses from all over the world, a lot of local cheeses, so like Vermont cheeses, and there's goat cheese and sheep's milk cheese and cow's milk cheese, hard, soft, totally gooey, stinky, and then meats too. So charcuterie you were talking about, so salamis and pâtés and all different kinds of hams and cold cuts. So it's been fun to play matchmaker with people and cheeses that they might like.
So I went to the Versace restaurant. There's a restaurant inside the Versace home, because that's not a museum now, and they made it a restaurant. And they take a wheel of Parmesan cheese, throw pasta in it, and make the pasta sauce
By stirring the hot pasta inside the wheel of cheese. Wow.
with some pasta water. And they make it at the table. And I saw that, and ever since then, I'm like, where do I get a wheel of pasta? I mean, a wheel of cheese.
It's not cheap to get a whole wheel of cheese for that.
And I'm like, and so now I'm like, I met a cheesemonger. Where do you get a wheel of cheese? I'm assuming a cheesemonger is going to be able to get me a wheel of cheese.
Yes, we can get you a wheel of cheese.
And now I'm going to have, I don't know how many I can make out of that wheel.
Yeah, exactly. I imagine that you probably, if you keep the wheel, you can make many batches and just keep making
Widening it.
widening the hole. But wow, I've never seen that. That's pretty funny.
It was one of those things. I already ordered my meal, and then I saw that happen at a table, and I was like, how much do you think I can change my dish? They were like, you can't.
I want what they're having.
Yeah. That just looked like, well, if you're doing that, it must be amazing.
Yeah.
It's like when they make Caesar salad at a table.
Yeah.
You know, it always is a little bit better, I think.
Yeah.
When you have it that fresh.
Definitely.
What are you looking forward to? You have your events. What is a next project that you're going to be working on?
Yeah, I've been working a little bit on sort of like a memoir, so less of a cookbook, although there might be recipes in there, and more of the story of how I became a baker. So it's a little more personal stories, talking a lot mostly about mistakes that I've made, like funny mistakes that have turned me into a better baker over time.
Ooh, can we have one?
Okay, well, I'll give you one. So do you know what quince is?
I've heard of it. I've never used it.
Yeah, it's like a hard fruit. It's like related to apples and pears. It's really hard and astringent, and How people usually use it is to cook it for a really long period of time, simmer it in sugar syrup or boil it, and until it softens and it takes on like a magenta hue. It tastes like a green apple Jolly Rancher, so like
Ooh.
really like fragrant, sweet tart. It's a lovely flavor. Anyway, I was obsessed with it at one point, and I was trying to make an upside down cake. And so I made this cake by sort of braising the quince in a cast iron pan. And so I was trying to like, braise the fruit and then put the batter on top so that you can then flip it. And again, this was another cake that looked like a crime scene. This time, this was entirely of my own doing. The color of it looked like like fried kidneys, or not fried kidneys, but like stewed organ.
Yeah.
It was blood red, and it smelled really odd. But I was like, I'm gonna cut a slice of this cake and I'm gonna eat it. And I took a bite, and it tasted like. Do you remember when like you would lose your baby teeth and it would bleed in your mouth and it would taste like blood? You could taste the blood. It tasted like that, but like 1,000%. And I realized that the astringency of the quince had stripped the seasoning off of my cast iron pan. Iron. And so essentially I was ingesting my cast iron pan and like how many years of seasoning was like on that cast iron pan. It was now coating the inside of my digestive system. It was horrible. And that's not the worst part. My teeth turned blue. My teeth were blue.
For how long?
Not long.
Oh,
As soon as I saw it, I ran upstairs. I was brushing my teeth like crazy. I was like,
you're pouring bleach on a spoon and putting it in your
yes,
mouth.
Yes. I was like, this is the most disastrous cake I've ever made. So things like that.
Yes. And what lessons do we learn from those?
What we learn is we do not cook acidic items like tomatoes in a cast iron pan or aluminum. That's why you shouldn't use like some types of metal or reactive metals. That's why they say use a non-reactive pan. They mean like a stainless steel pan that won't interact with the acidity of the ingredients.
That's really good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not a cast iron person because I've never learned how to properly clean my cast iron.
Yes. Do you want me to tell you how to properly clean
Yes,
a cast
please.
iron?
Yes.
Just water and like a decent scrubber that's not a plastic scrubber. Or sometimes at Asian markets you can get these bamboo strips tied together that they use to clean woks. That also works really well. But just water. Don't use soap. Don't use anything that's going to scrape the seasoning off because you want to get rid of the food, but you don't want to get rid of the seasoning. So just water, and then dry it, and then coat it with a little oil or something to store it so that it keeps the
I feel like that needs to be done together. I feel like in my head, I've read that too, but when I get to doing it, I don't know where I'm stopping.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And now I feel like I've either gone not far enough or too far, and then when I'm adding oil on top of it, I'm also feeling like something's happening.
Yeah. When I just use like my fingers, and do I feel any like rough food particles still on there? Like if I feel anything rough, and you can even just use your fingernail to pick it off. I want it to be just smooth, and I would not go further than that. And then I just dry it with a towel or paper towel, and it's okay if there's like you might see like a little brown on your paper towel. That's just the seasoning. Like you want the seasoning there. That's what's keeping it nonstick.
Very interesting. I will tell you, it's probably been more than 20 years that I gave up the cast iron experiment because I just kept throwing it away because I know how good it is for you.
Yeah, but if it doesn't work with your lifestyle, it's also heavy, and a lot of people with wrist problems just don't really like to haul it out.
Yeah.
And that's fine. It's
that
like
makes
whatever
sense.
works for you.
We're coming up to the top of the hour. Why don't you tell us what some events you're going to have coming up so that we can come out and meet you in person?
I have let's see. So we have the Auburndale event, the library on Saturday. I will be at the Raynham Public Library on December 6th at 11 a.m.
Are you doing any New Hampshire ones?
I don't have any New Hampshire ones at the moment. I
Should
was
we
up in
schedule
Durham. Oh, that would be nice. I was up in Durham last year, and that was super fun. But yeah, I am available.
So Nashua Public Library, I'm thinking that's going to happen. And then Bedford Public Library.
Oh.
Let's see what we can do.
All right. That
Because
sounds
if
amazing.
I can't make it to Newton on Saturday because of work, I will make one that I can go to.
That sounds great.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thank
Author
you.
of New England Brunch, New England Desserts, and Winter Sweet. All available up now at your bookstores, Amazon. Thank you, Tammy, for joining us.
Thank you
I
so
hope you
much.
come back.
I will.
Do you want to tell us where we can find you?
Yes, you can find me at tammydonroe.com. That's TAMMYDONROE.com. And you can also sign up for my newsletter there. I'm also on Instagram at TDONROE. That's TDonroe. Facebook at Tammy.Donroe. And TikTok at New England Tammy.
Excellent. Stay tuned. We're going to go to the top of the hour. We're going to have a very special guest for you when we come back. Stay tuned.
WSMN 1590. WSMN 95.3 FM Nashua. Listen, watch, and stream at WSMN.live.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The Labor Department out with new jobs numbers for September. The economy adding 119,000 that month instead of the 50,000 most economists had predicted. That news coming as a very big company announces a good third quarter.
Not only is Walmart the largest retailer, it's become the nation's biggest grocery store. And